The representative of Republic of Korea.
Thank you, Mr. President. I thank USG Tom Fletcher and Executive Director Catherine Russell of UNICEF for their sobering briefings. Mr. President, humanitarian assistance should not be used as a political tool. And aid seekers must not risk their lives to get life-saving assistance. Unfortunately, what we witness every day in Gaza for several months contradicts our fundamental belief. We are deeply concerned by the recent announcement by the UN that as of July 13th, 875 Palestinians in Gaza have been killed while trying to reach food. Out of those victims, 674 were killed in the vicinity of the GHF sites. Every effort to deliver humanitarian aid, including food, medicine, and fuel, should be encouraged. But what we should not overlook is that such assistance must be carried out in a safe and dignified way, in full compliance with humanitarian principles. Amid the complete restrictions of access to the international media, we still encounter shocking videos and overwhelming testimonies about each person's experience at the GHF distribution sites. Those witnesses are not only Palestinian civilians, but also now include foreign security employees and even IDF soldiers. Despite this situation, there is still a persistent lack of accurate and sufficient information. Despite this situation, there is still a persistent lack of accurate and sufficient information on the facts around the GHF aid distribution sites or near UN convoys. And this should not be ignored. As the OHCHR indicated, I quote, "It is not helpful to issue blanket dismissals of the concerns raised by the international community," unquote. A full and transparent investigation should follow. And more importantly, international journalists must be allowed to enter Gaza, witness what is happening, and report the details back to the world. Mr. President, the United Nations has repeatedly stressed that it is ready to work to relieve the extreme suffering of Palestinians in Gaza through the swift and unimpeded delivery of humanitarian aid to those in need. We trust the desperate but confident voice by the UN. We are aware that the WFP is continuing its delivery of basic food items to local communities, and that the WHO facilitated entry of limited medical supplies into Gaza. However, ongoing restrictions to the requisite aid make it impossible for the UN to meet the needs of 2 million people in Gaza as hunger and violence surge. We thus call on Israel to fully cooperate with the UN to expand the unimpeded entry and delivery of humanitarian aid in Gaza at scale through the UN's well-established and trusted delivery mechanism. We are seriously alarmed by the incessant reports by the UN that everything, notably food, fuel, and medical goods, are in desperate need as existing stocks run out. We call on Israel to help the UN. We repeat our call for the protection of civilians based on the clear principles of international humanitarian law, including distinction, precaution, and proportionality. the daily repetitious killing of innocent aid seekers, such as those killed last weekend queuing for water, including 7 children, must stop immediately, regardless of cause. Mr. President, last week we were hopeful for the finalization of a deal to secure an immediate ceasefire and release of hostages in Gaza. We sincerely hope that through efforts by mediators, US, Qatar, and Egypt, a ceasefire can be resumed in Gaza as soon as possible. As we are concerned by the suffering of Palestinians in Gaza, we are also worried by the fate of the innocent Israeli hostages and the agony of their families. We thus hope that all remaining hostages brutally held by Hamas, both living and dead, can be unconditionally released and that an immediate ceasefire can be made permanent. We also hope that any deal to reach ceasefire can be a starting point for a durable peace in Israel and Palestine. Thus, we reiterate our firm oppositions to any proposal to forcibly relocate Palestinian civilians inside or outside of Gaza. Realization of mutual acceptance and respect is the key for lasting peace in the region. I thank you, Mr. President.
The representative of the Republic of Korea for the statement, and I'll give the floor to the representative of China.
Thank you, President. At the outset, I thank the UK, Denmark, France, Greece, and Slovenia for their initiative in calling today's meeting. I also thank USG Fletcher and Executive Director Russell for their briefings, which are heart-wrenching. 21 months into the Gaza conflict, the humanitarian situation on the ground has worsened to an unprecedented level. The international community must take strong actions with utmost urgency to alleviate the humanitarian catastrophe. I would like to make the following